People sometimes ask if critics are too hard on what they review because they're trying to look unbiased. Speaking only for myself, kinda. I mean, I don't know about bias, but since I'm aware that visceral, in-the-moment enjoyment is actually one of the things that it's easier for a movie to deliver, I tend to question what I like more than I question what I disliked. To put it another way, I think it's healthy to second-guess positive reactions more so than negative ones, because the negative ones are often right the first time. For me, at least. The main thing is, I try as best I can to avoid feeling like I'm doing advocacy journalism for movies, even if I am, in fact, advocating that you go see this or that film in the end. And I especially don't want to get into the realm of shilling for something, the quality of which I'm not 100% sure about. For me, these are good rules, all of which I'm about to decisively break to tell you that although at the time of this writing I have not yet watched this week's big new Giant Robots vs. Giant Monsters movie Pacific Rim, you should definitely be going to see Pacific Rim. Let me explain. Now granted, what makes this exercise much easier than it might otherwise be is that I'm reasonably sure this movie is going to be at least pretty damn good. The trailers look good, it has a good cast, Guillermo del Toro, the director, is one of our best living filmmakers, etc. I mean, do you want 5 reasons to go see this movie? Fine. Kronos, Blade 2, Devil's Backbone, Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth. There you go. But that's not the only reason why I think it's not only okay, but important for me to use my meager voice to shout, "Hey guys, let's support this one!" across the internet. No, the main reason is because, in all honesty, both as a movie fan and a movie critic, I am aching for some originality at movie theaters. Look, I am not one of these guys who sees adaptations and remakes as automatically lesser works in and of themselves. You can make a tremendously original or even groundbreaking movie out of an adaptation like The Dark Knight. You can just as easily make a tedious slog out of an original idea like Olympus Has Fallen. Some sequels are among the best movies ever made, while lots of legendary stinkers were original ideas. But here's the thing, no matter how many perfectly good movies we get from Hollywood's current fascination with remakes, reboots, and sequels, too much of that is bad for the soul and worse for the health of a movie culture. I mean, to commit yet another sin against respectable film criticism and utilize a cheesy food metaphor, I might love hot wings, but I can't eat hot wings every damn day, although I have tried. New things, new experiences, and new ideas are a vital part of our cultural development. Spirit of adventure, pioneer ideal, that whole thing. Even when the new ideas turn out to be bad, the important thing is that we tried them. Nostalgia and looking back are all well and good, but a culture that only looks back is a culture that is choosing for its best days to have been behind it. And I don't think that's us yet. But since movies are expensive and known quantities are safer bets, at least in theory, we've come to a place where most of the big new movies this summer have been sequels, reboots, reimaginings, or remakes. A place where someone thought this disaster was worth making because, hey, at least it's a brand, and that's just not good for us, even if so many of the less than original movies weren't disappointments, though that obviously doesn't help. Sure, there are plenty of other reasons why I'm psyched for Pacific Rim and would like other folks to be as well. Del Toro is a genius, and he really deserves a big hit, for one thing. For another, I find its apparent globalism encouraging. We live in an increasingly connected, borderless world, and a film with an international cast of stars, boasting origins and inspiration as diverse as anime, kaiju movies, and Lovecraftian horror feels like a more positive development in that direction than the tiresome America as center of the world 20th century nostalgia of Man of Steel or the Transformers franchise. But I keep coming back to one central fact. This movie is about something new, something different. It's not based on an old cartoon or adapted from a comic or a remake of some other film. This is new material, new ideas, new characters. That shouldn't be so damn refreshing, but in a summer of oppressively terrible duds like The Lone Ranger, it sure as hell is. Not to be cynical about it, but if we don't make new movies now, what will they remake in the future? Yeah, haha, funny joke, but I do this for a living, folks, and I sure as hell don't want to be suffering through yet another increasingly worse reboot of Spider-Man a decade from now. One of the reasons so many movies coming out are based on 80s cartoon or 60s comic books is because those were moments of intense creativity and newness at the time. New is good. New should be encouraged. Again, I haven't seen the movie yet, though I will by the time you see this episode, and even though it looks really good and I'm really looking forward to it, well, that was the case with Man of Steel, and Man of Steel turned out to be kind of a mess. What I'm here to say is that I hope you don't wait for my review or anyone else's review. I hope as many people as possible are already planning to see Pacific Rim just because it's something fresh, something new, something different. I understand that's not an easy proposition. Things are tough all over, money is tight, the economy sucks, life is uncertain, and the desire for the comfort of the familiar is wholly understandable. But let's make the effort anyway, huh? Let's do our part to support stuff like Pacific Rim, and Elysium, and The Conjuring, and Only God Forgives, and The World's End. Yes, even if we're not sure about them. Yes, even if some of them disappoint us. Because if we don't, then more reboots, more remakes, and more regurgitation and recycling is all we're going to get. Let's all try as much as we can to make the movies a place where creativity, fresh ideas, and originality can thrive, not just a place where franchises and brand names can reach their most profitable form. I'm Bob, and that's the big picture.